Stray is an adorable little cat game published by Annapurrrrrna Interactive for PS5, PS4, and PC, and it was recently released on those platforms for $30, while also being available for free to all subscribers of PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium. So as a premium subscriber myself, I was able to play this game at no additional cost. This means I can't necessarily speak to the worth of this game at $30 since I got it for free, but I will say that even though this is by no means a bad game, it's incredibly short, so you might want to wait until it drops to $20 or so before purchasing it, if you don't have PlayStation Plus. So even if the game might not be the most enticing day one pickup for everyone, there is a ton of value here. The game itself is quite short, but the experience offered is so good that I personally think it's worth it. The visuals are absolutely breathtaking, especially for an indie game. Though it obviously doesn't look as good as a $100 million PlayStation Studios game, you can still feel an incredible atmosphere, and many of the PS5's graphical features are put to great use as you go through this neon-lit set of cyberpunk cities. This type of environment makes great use of ray tracing and lighting, as you'll see some beautifully realistic reflections off of the ground and neon signs to make everything really pop. We also have most of the characters as robots, all of which look really cool and have some fantastic animations, such as virtually sweating through the screen that is their face. The music is also absolutely fantastic, with that futuristic feel that immerses you in Stray's unique world. A lot of games have this kind of style, but the context that Stray provides to it is really cool. There are tons of exciting plot points and things to learn about the world through the collectible memories, which tell a fascinating tale about how the world has been closed off and shut down. It's clearly influenced by real-world impacts of the pandemic and how it was mishandled, also pushing some anti-capitalist undertones, which can be seen in both the dialogue and the way the world around you is portrayed. There's a surprisingly deep narrative here for a game about a stray cat helping robots, and the story, in general, is quite interesting and has some actually surprising twists and turns, with an ending that left me feeling really satisfied and like my journey had a true meaning. Overall, it's the world of this game that carries it to being one of my favorite indie games of all time, as there are tons of things to discover, learn, and experience, and it's all either legitimately complex and interesting or funny and charming beyond belief. But what about the gameplay? Well, Stray is a pretty simple game when you get down to it. You platform around as a cat, solve some puzzles, complete tasks for robot citizens that all flow together extremely well, and discover hidden memories and bits of lore throughout. Some of the puzzles are completed in a really cool way, such as finding a note that writes code with a colon backwards, meaning that you have to input the code backwards from what is directly on the note. Or in another situation where it says that time is key, you must look at a series of clocks on the wall and choose the numbers shown by the minute hands. These are really cool puzzles that left me feeling satisfied, and though sometimes navigating around the city gets a little confusing with the lack of waypoints or a map, the puzzles and tasks to do were never too cryptic and always made sense. There are also these enemies called the Zurks that you have to avoid, and this game is honestly so adorable that even these things trying to kill you are adorable. They're tiny little squishy things that hunt and chase after any biomass, consuming it and reducing its once flourishing life into their next depraved meal as they wallow in their filthy, sticky lair within the sewers and pray to their eyeball god. Okay, maybe they aren't so adorable. There are also sentinels introduced later on, and these are much more threatening enemies that you'll have to do some really cool stuff to in order to escape. I love the stealth elements that are introduced later on, and even though the gameplay is quite simple, it's used in a very digestible way and not instated in a game that's overly long, so it always feels enjoyable. I truly love everything about this game. It's one of the most atmospheric games I've played recently, with an interesting story and fun gameplay that makes use of your cat-like abilities. It's a short but sweet game, and even though it could have made navigation a bit more clear, toned down on the glitches, and had a few more mechanics built around being a cat to spice things up, it's a great time, and I really recommend it. 4.5 out of 5.